So we're joined today by multi-nominee Emmy winner person, Michael E. Knight. Look at you, dude.
Multi-M&M. Multi-M&M.
You've won stuff you've nominated to. Phenomena.
And my brother Phenomena.
Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, thanks, man. Congrats. So, I mean, look, you've been in the game a long time. How does it feel?
It feels weird. And the reason I wanted to do today, you know me, Steve Bradford. Steve
yes,
and I, we go back a little bit. Steve was my brother on Young and the Restless and stuff, and not my literal brother. He was like a soul brother over there. But I generally shy away from social media. I'm not a big social media guy. And Steve actually talked me into doing That's Awesome. And I don't remember, remember we did That's Awesome like a year and a half ago. And I swear to you that it was that hour and a half we had in the studio that led to today. And I never would have guessed it because initially, Steve called me and said, you got to do this. And I was like, dude, nobody's going to care. I'll mention it was 8 years ago. Nobody gives a rat's puckered nutsack. You know what I mean? So he goes, no, seriously, the fans, they remember, they love me. Let's do this. So I remember we got together and it was just like about an hour and a half of just remembering how lucky we were back in the day. You know what I mean? What a blessing it was.
Yeah.
And based on, that time that I spent with you, I went to a couple buddies of mine, including Steve. I went to Rebecca and Patrick and I said, if I wrote an email to Frank, how do you think it would go over? And it was like, dude, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Give it a shot. So, and because I knew Frank for 25 years, 30 years
sure.
from, he was Catherine's boss. I was like, Frank, you got a little something. And because of Dan and Chris, this has spun out. And then yesterday was just surreal. Like I had no idea anything was going to go on. And I get a text from my longtime love interest, Katie McLean, my other half, my spiritual ball and chain on daytime television. She said, hey man, congratulations. And I was like, what are you talking about? So long story short, you guys are to blame. I love you. Thank you very much for my good fortune.
Dude,
That is pretty amazing. Because I remember, the energy you walked in with that day is very different than the energy you have now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know how to take it. I hope it's a good thing because, you and I, we're all in the same game. You're 15 minutes away from being nobody. And after having, basically a decade of going kind of from hand to mouth, I was like, basically, life teaches you to, eventually, a friend of mine always says, in life, if you're on the globe long enough, humility is a destination, not an option. And so maybe that's, a little bit of what you were picking up on.
Well, yeah, no, it wasn't. I'm not saying it's like this huge shift. It's just that you were sexy then, but you're even sexier now. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
No, there's definitely, listen, dude, let's be honest. But Michael, let's be honest. Being in the game so long and to still get a nomination is pretty freaking cool. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Being in the game so long, and you know this, Steve. I mean, two of the people in my category are friends of mine from 20 years ago.
It's awesome.
Like Eva and Chriselle. I remember Chriselle when she was like fresh out of the basket. You know what I mean? She was a baby. She came up on our show, and I was just I had to pinch myself yesterday when I realized we're all in this sort of together. It does. It makes you proud.
Yeah, it's a super fun category in that respect because it is a bit of a wild card category, and it's all ages and genders, and it's a really cool category.
Well, you and I think we talked about this last time. It's like one thing I'm kind of proud of, mystified by, I'm waiting to see what the last chapter is how daytime has had to morph because we all we go back to when, hey man, being on a soap daytime when HBO was an experiment, was crazy. It was like being, Elvis for the day.
Yeah.
And because of the changing industry, because of streaming, because of social media, you go back to OJ and a whole segment of the population went away. How things have had to change. I was looking at this category and going, they just don't. We keep having to do more and more and more with less and less and less. So they just don't give out contracts anymore. Most people don't know this, but back in the day, you got your walking papers, you got your character, and it was like, hey man, it's like 2 to 3 to 5 years in some respects, depending on like how long you've been there, what you've earned, if you come up the ladder. Now, I guess it's like, there are a lot of people that are kind of going, I'll take the work when I can get it. So it's kind of like this category is a direct response to that.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know.
But it's interesting though, because like someone that's like, you're recurring on our show now, right? Like, so if you were to recur next year, if you can't be in the guest category next year if you stay, I don't think, right?
Sure you can. Depends on the palms you grease, babe. Come on.
No, that's not true.
But do you know what I mean? Like the guidelines for guest are interesting because Chriselle was on days before and now she came back for like a stint. So, but she's not a recurrent. Like it's.
So there's got to be like some sort of a limited I guess. It's a mini arc or something. It's like,
yeah, I guess. I don't know. But
the thing is, it's a new category. It should be there anyway. And it is a wild card category. And speaking of, being a wild card, you are close to the gambler. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers is with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank goodness.
That's Steve's favorite line.
Yeah, it is.
I think you told me that line.
No,
and I think
I said, was it you? It was either you or Roger. Like the character. The one thing I'm really I get a lot of grief about is, and it just this evolved in a weird way. Is okay. So they get this character Martin Gray. Get it? Martin Gray. Whatever. It's a nod to Ted. Whatever. And Steve, initially when they had all that courtroom stuff, you were part of that. I had these huge summations, and everything was written in Southern. And I walk up to Frank, and I'd be walking, because he's these huge monologues, and I'd be walking my dog in the afternoon up here, so just south of Mulholland, and I'd be like, okay, I need this job. I want to be great. I want to do a good job. So I'd be running lines, walking my dog, walking up these hills, and I couldn't get out of the Southern cadence. And I finally sidled up to Frank and said, somebody on the show, either Dan or Chris, is Southern. He goes, no, it's one of the dialogues. And so there's this kind of stilted thing. So he said, hey, give it a shot. So I get so much grief now for looking like this and doing that Virginia accent. And I think it was you. Like one day I had this whole big thing, and I'm like, wow, got through it in one take. Steve comes up and goes, so dude, which side did you actually fight on in the Great War? Like, okay. So I have to dial back the accent, because you're right. I mean, like right now I look like I look like Kenny Rogers and Colonel Sanders had a baby.
That's amazing.
And you do look good in either navy blue or gray. So I mean, like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Still working on the sexy angle, huh? Mr. How's that state?
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing, Bradford? You trying to hit on freaking Tad right now, or what?
No, at my age, it's like everybody's like, "Oh man, you look great." I go, "Yeah, man, I still got it. It's in the medicine cabinet, but I still got it." It's covered by insurance.
It's still accessible.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
it. Yeah. It's within reach.
It can be had. As like people say, "Oh, you lost weight, you look good," and I was like, "Trust me, man, it's not the ride it used to be." Really.
So what have you picked out your at least the top half of your outfit for the Zoom ceremony?
I was cracking up. I was talking to Patrick the other day about that. I was thinking, like, so what do you do? I mean, you get a tuxedo, like a shirt, and then like sweats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like you do the Donald Duck. You know Donald Duck. You got no pants. You got like bikini briefs on it. Like when that thing starts, your iPad's gonna fall into your lap.
Wait.
Yeah, but dude, I think you should have the white tux. I think you should go Colonel Sanders.
Go the full tilt boogie with the black.
Yeah, and just be holding your dog on the couch. Dude, that's amazing. Because I thought I go, this is the best time to show people sense of humor, right? Because you're gonna look like a freaking idiot sitting there in a tuxedo, on your couch, right? It's like I'm thinking of wearing just a tuxedo T-shirt. A black tuxedo T-shirt. So if I know that,
dude, if I had your body, I'd have somebody come in and paint the thing on. You know what I mean? I'd do one of those things. I'd pay somebody to come over like 10 hours early and just paint a tuxedo on your body.
That's amazing.
If I had your body, I wouldn't put on clothes, dude. That's serious. I'd go to work naked.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be tripping over things. You wouldn't want to do that.
Oh,
Hey, it's a family show.
Yeah,
hey.
come on, back up a little bit, okay?
Hey.
oh my. Oh my.
man.
Well, but here's the thing. So say your name is called. Then what? Do you like, because I feel like when your name is called for an award, the instinct is to get up. But like, there's nothing. Do you know what I mean?
I like to thank my mom. I'd like to thank my mom.
I'd like you to thank everybody I've ever met while I'm showing you my crotch. Patrick Stewart is an old buddy of mine, and he had the best take on this I've ever heard. He said, dude,
that's James
can you
Patrick Stewart
imagine,
for everybody.
Valentine on the show. Can you imagine anything more humiliating than losing on Zoom? 5 people. Your face is this big. You know, it's bad enough when they got the shot of you, like, you know, when you're in the row and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah. But can you imagine?
That's
You're
funny.
on Zoom and you're like, and the winner is Eva LaRue.
Who knew the Brady Bunch was so far ahead of their time?
Yeah, no
Totally.
kidding.
Because now we're gonna be like, and the winner is.
That's a good point. Hang on, let me get my setup here. This sounds really corny, but I swear to God, it's true. What's the most amazing thing about this thing happening last summer is the number of really cool texts of people. Like, you forget how many people we've worked with over, like, you know, decades.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And getting texts from Jill reached out and stuff, and you know, and Justin, who played my son, and like person after person after person I'd get, like, that I hadn't heard from, that I didn't even know had my number anymore. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Reach out, go, hey man, I was like watching Variety online or something like that, and this thing came up, and it was like, it's this bizarre retrospective of your life, because especially nowadays, I'm around Dave. I was doing okay up until about week 5 or week 6 of, you know, this thing we're living through, and then I started to go into these like little mini like panic attacks. Like, it'll be okay. I go from good news to bad news. There's hope. There's no hope. This is like, you know, it's like, you know, my car's like, how do I get my car into the shop? Because if you're going to social distance, how do you do this? How do you get groceries? I mean, it's what we're living through is positively biblical. And then yesterday happened, and it was like suddenly people that I've known, beautiful people I've known for like, you know, 20, 30 years, reached out to just say, hey man, good on you. And you forget that life is in session, that this too shall pass. And that so far has been really, really the coolest thing about it, because, like I say, I didn't even know there was a category like this. And you know the guy I really got to thank? I'm sorry to talk so much, is Mark Teschner. Because Mark, I remember like 6 months ago, when I think I hadn't done like 15 shows, 12 shows, he comes to me and he goes, oh, do you want to throw your name into the hat? And for everybody who doesn't know, Mark Teschner is our longtime director of casting. He's been with General Hospital since the world was cool. Everybody who's ever been on the show knows exactly who Mark is. So he's like, sure. Do you want to throw your name into the hat? And I said, for what? And he goes, oh, we got this thing, the Emmys. And I said, yeah, you know, whatever, sure. He goes, do you know what you want to use? And I said, no, I can't watch myself because I suffer from that thing. You know, to me, I look like, I can't stand looking at myself. I look like a beanbag chair with a lot of hair, you know? So I just turned it over to Mark. And Mark, whatever he put on that thing 6 months ago worked. Awesome. So other than, you know, that, I just like Mark Teschner and Frank Valentini and Dan and Chris, man, those are the heroes of my story today. Yeah, I always say that. Dude. Those guys, like, I owe them a debt of gratitude I can't repay.
Well, we're so happy for you, dude.
We love you. The fans love you. You're awesome, Michael. And it's just, I was so excited to see your name. At first, I thought it was Knight Rider, but I'm like, no, it's not.
I'm never going to live that down, dude. Really.
No,
and the fact that Catherine was married to me.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the odds? You know what I mean?
Right.
Dude, that you're in James Patrick's little bit on the daytime cares thing was awesome.
Yeah.
That's him. I got to tell you, he reminds me of you, Steve, because there are guys in this thing that we do that are, I always say is like, you've got talent, you've got chops you haven't thought about using yet. Patrick's like that. Most people don't know he's an amazing, amazing music producer. He writes beautiful music.
Yeah.
And he's funny. And he says, let's do this thing. And he sent me a script and I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was like, all you're doing is cutting me down. You're humiliating me. And he goes, no. Do me a favor. Have you ever seen Between Two Ferns? Was that
That's exactly what it played as. Yeah.
And I said no. And he goes, okay, right now, hang up the phone, go look up Between Two Ferns, Obama, Will Ferrell, and Brad Pitt. And I was like, within 15 minutes, I was going, it's genius.
That's
so
awesome.
I owe that to Patrick.
That's
sure.
great, man.
Well, I mean, the way you received it was great too. It's a two-way street. You got to receive it well, and you did. Like you played,
all you
played
have
the part
to do is
perfectly.
be willing to be humiliated. And the fact is, all this stuff we talked about.
But you got to do that and look slightly annoyed too, but not look like do you know what I mean? But and that was funny is because like a lot of people, the convention they weren't familiar with. They weren't familiar with Between Two Ferns, so a lot of fans thought it was real, and that was funny to me.
I heard about that. I heard a lot of people were like, "How could he be so mean?" And I feel bad about that.
Well, hey man, congratulations!
Yeah, congrats, dude. We love you.
I can't wait to watch this on primetime television. Who'd have thunk? Like you're going to be in your living room.
Steve, I need a judge's ruling on this, Steve. When's the last time it was on TV?
Sheesh.
10 years?
No,
I'd say 5 to 10 years ago. If I was a gambling guy, I'd say 5.
You mean on like on broadcast television or like television at all?
Well, because it was on cable for a while. It went to a few random like what was it, like freaking backpacking channel or something?
And then
no, but it was like
it wasn't. It was like the Outdoor Network or something.
I think it was like wasn't it like
Travel Channel?
There was the TV Guide Network one year, right?
It was on the History Network.
And,
right.
And here's your backpack. And the winner is the cool thing about this quarantine is it's forced people to stop. Just stop. It's forced people to stop and kind of listen.
Yeah.
You know, and they're probably ingesting content that they never would have. Right. Mm-hmm. It's like we're definitely doing things that we wouldn't have done because we'd still be on the road. We'd still be working. We wouldn't have started this YouTube channel.
Right.
You know, we'd be doing the podcast, but we wouldn't be doing stuff like this. And this just goes to show you that people are I don't want to say hungry for it, but they appreciate this, especially our fans, talking to someone like you who's been in the game for 30 plus years and hearing your stories. It's awesome, dude. It's an awesome time.
I have to give you credit for that because you've always been really, really good at is being the bridge. But you too, Bradford, doing the things you guys do on the road, being the bridge between, because the soap fans are so phenomenal. I mean, look, I've been in the game. You're absolutely right. I'm coming up on 40 years in the game. You know what I mean?
Buddy.
And the only reason that yesterday happened is because there are a lot of really devoted people that, you know, either watched it one time or grew up with it or watched it till it ended or raised their kids or went to school or was in the hospital, whatever. It's like a lot of really, really wonderful people. And Michael Knight's still alive. Yeah. He's like, I'll tune in to see that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's awesome,
there's a lot of people that like at my age who would give a lot to have the chance to work. And the only reason I do is because of the audience. When you called me today or when you texted me today, Steve, I was like, man, not only will I do it, I'll do it naked. I'll do it.
Here we go.
Let me go get my bifocals. I'm just kidding there, Michael Knight. Buddy, we love you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Michael E. Knight, and congratulations on a nomination. Well deserved.
And good luck,
Thank
buddy.
You, Bradford.
Hey guys, it's Stephen Bradford from General Hospital.
We have an exciting new way to get you backstage at General Hospital, on our comedy tours, and in our real lives.
Exclusive content and a lot of access. Go to stonecoldandthejackal.com and check it out.